For many years, Ghana and Nigeria have been rivals in various fields, from sports to the entertainment industry to music and even over who makes the best jollof rice. Nobody knows for sure when or why this rivalry started, but some think it might have something to do with the phrase "Ghana must go." Welcome to Africa Documentary. In today's video, we will be looking into the history behind one of the very popular bags, the Ghana must go. But before we proceed, if you are new to this channel and are passionate about knowing Africa's rich history, please subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on all post notifications so you don't miss any of our uploads. Alright, let's dive right in. To truly understand the genesis of the Ghana must go bag, we need to go back in time to the very beginning. It all started in 1983, when the then president of Nigeria, Shehu Shagari, passed an order that essentially banished a huge number of Ghanaians living in Nigeria, about 1 million of them. This was equivalent to about 8% of the Ghanaians living in Ghana at the time. But you may be asking yourself, why were there so many Ghanaians living in Nigeria, and why was this order passed? Let's take a step backward. In 1956, oil was discovered in Nigeria by Shell BP. Then, oil was in high demand in foreign countries. Over the following years of the discovery, Nigeria experienced a lot of growth in the oil sector. Notably, after their independence, onshore and offshore exploration rights were extended to other foreign companies. Things really picked up when, in 1970, just in time for the Biafran War to end, oil prices skyrocketed. The next year, Nigeria joined the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries OPEC, and by 1977, she had set up her own national petroleum company. The 1970s were a relatively good period for the Nigerian economy, and they interested a lot of foreigners, including Ghanaians. Why then was the order passed? To understand this question, we have to drive back to the early 20s. During this period, Ghana, the world's largest cocoa producer, was blooming economically. Then, cocoa was in great demand, contributing significantly to the country's GDP. This made several immigrants from different countries in Africa flee to Ghana, seeking a greener pasture, with Nigeria making the most of them. But this phase rapidly passed away as the demand for cocoa drastically decreased, leaving the economy of Ghana on the brink of collapsing. Then, in 1969, the Ghanaian government passed a law similar to the one the Nigerian president passed in 1983, called the Alien Compliance Order. This order was targeted at foreigners living on Ghanaian soil and was intended to banish Nigerians and other Africans. This created some bad blood among both countries, but soon subsided as Nigeria and Ghana continued their cordial diplomatic relationship. That was until 1980, when the government of Hilarion, a good friend of Shehu Shagari, was overthrown by Jerry John Rawlings. Jerry Rawlings and Shehu Shagari were not on great terms, and the situation deteriorated to the extent that by 1982, Nigeria stopped shipping crude oil on loan to Ghana after Rawlings claimed that Shagari was conspiring to assist Lyman in overthrowing him. Around the same time, the oil boom from the previous decade began to die down, which meant bad news for the Nigerian economy. Later that same year, the house of the Nigerian vice president, Alexander Ifeanyichukwu Ikweme, was attacked by robbers who were later found to be mostly immigrants. On January 17, 1983, the immediate expulsion of illegal immigrants was announced. People without the right documentation were given 2 weeks to leave the country. This unexpected development led to panic among the immigrants, a huge percentage of whom were Ghanaian. It was also rumored that the government gave the Nigerian citizens the power to confront the immigrants after the deadline for the ultimatum was passed. The Ghanaians weren't going to wait around to find out if this was true, so they departed Nigeria for neighboring Benin Republic through the semi-border. However, in their haste and desperation, they needed a means to carry whatever possessions they could salvage. This led to the birth of the Ghana must go bag, a large, durable, and colorful sack that quickly became synonymous with this mass exodus. It was from this that the bag got its name in Nigeria. The journey back to Ghana wasn't actually an easy one. In the previous years, Rawlings had shut down the Ghanaian border after a coup scare. As a result, when the Nigerian government passed her order, Togo also shut down her border to avoid the influx of Ghanaians, leaving the migrants stranded in Benin with nowhere to go. Many of them proceeded to the port hoping to get a boat to Ghana, but the queues there were miles long, and many people were stranded so long that they ran out of money. Eventually, Ghana reopened her border, forcing Togo to do the same and giving the affected persons a passageway to return to what had once been their home. The name Ghana Must Go stuck in Nigeria and just couldn't be rubbed off, but the story itself isn't known by very many. We've come to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. Also, please leave a comment down below. Until next time, peace.